Hey there guys, it's Chris from UrbanSuburban channel here. Got a quick video for you. I have a new format I'm trying out, and I'm going to try and keep all my reviews under 10 minutes. So as you can maybe see here, the clock is ticking. So I'm going to get this show on the road. Today I have a knife review for you. It is on the Cold Steel Talwar. This is a folding knife that I've wanted probably ever since Cold Steel released it a few years ago. I just think it is one heck of a sexy blade. That's what appealed to me to begin with, was the aesthetics of it. I just loved the look of this thing. That is one heck of a beautiful, beautiful blade. Clean my fingerprints off here. Like I said, that is what attracted to me this initially. Let's go through the specs here really quick, just to get them out of the way. This is an Andrew Demko design. He's worked a lot with Cold Steel. He actually came up with the triad lock. Of course, this does have the famous triad lock, if you can see in there. Big stop pin in there. It's a scimitar shaped blade, which of course is what kind of sets this one apart from a lot of their other folding knives. Scimitar, or I believe they actually call it a trailing point blade, maybe an upswept blade. This is an Oz 8A version. This is their original release of the Talwar. They do have it now in CTS XHP, which is an upgraded steel. But I picked this one up as I found it on sale a couple months ago for about 80 bucks, give or take, in Canada here. That's 80 bucks Canadian. Seems to go online right now in the Oz 8A version, anywhere, give or take, between 60 and 90 bucks down in the States. And of course, the XHP version is a few bucks more. As you can see, it's a full flat grind, or I should say a flat grind. It's got this basically aesthetic swedge in the top here, unsharpened, with a satin finish. As you can see, very, very pretty. But the downside to satin is fingerprints, and I get fingerprints everywhere. But it sure does look nice when it's clean, and it cleans up pretty easy, as you can see here. What else do we got here? Thumb plate design. Again, that's an Andrew Demko feature. To be honest, I could take it or leave it. I'd almost prefer if this had thumb studs on it, much like Recon 1. The thumb plate works excellent for what it was designed for, which is a very quick deployment out of pocket. Basically, if you've never used a thumb plate design, it's similar to an Emerson Wave feature. This disc catches on the edge of your pocket as you're drawing your knife out, and it simultaneously opens your blade as you draw the knife. And for that, it works flawlessly, I'd say. Basically every time it's going to open for you. But for myself, I haven't been in a lot of knife fights lately. I don't really require that feature, and I find opening it with your thumb on here, these edges on here are fairly sharp, and I just find it more comfortable to use a thumb stud. Having said that, I understand why it's there, and it does work well. And as you can see, you can't open it with your thumbs anyway. G10 handle, typical Cold Steel black G10, very similar to the Recon 1 in traction, very grippy, but very, very comfortable. I find this maybe the most comfortable grip of any folding knife I have. You can see it's very sculpted, finger grooves, which can be risky because they definitely don't line up with everyone's fingers. Everyone's got different shaped hands, but for me, this is the 4-inch version of the Talwar, and this handle fits me like a glove. It is perfect. Reversible pocket clip, or I should say you can mount it other side, tip up only. Like a lot of Cold Steels, they give you 2 pocket clips if you want to mount it left or right hand carry. And I would consider this a large size EDC. That's what I use it for. I'm not a big tactical guy. I'm sure there are plenty of guys out there that'll say this would also be quite capable as a tactical knife. I mean, even with just the 4-inch blade, you have a huge handle in here. You got a lot of reach, a lot of penetrating power with that point there, and this thing's a great slicer. But again, for me, I don't get in a lot of knife fights, so this is an EDC, and in that role, I would say it excels. That flat grind, lots of belly. This thing slices like crazy. You can cut cardboard all day. I have no issues with Oz 8A steel or Oz 8. Yes, it's going to dull on you eventually, but it's exceedingly easy to sharpen, and it takes a heck of a razor sharp edge. I mean, you can get Oz 8 that's been heat treated properly and with the proper grind. You can get Oz 8 as sharp as any steel out there. It's just probably not going to last as long as a lot of the higher end stuff, which for me is fine because it just brings down the cost of the knife. And again, I'm not taking this to Afghanistan or Iraq or anything like that. This is in my pocket when I go to work, when I go shopping, if I have to open packages, when I'm breaking down cardboard. So again, this I don't mind sharpening this every once in a while, not capacity. I'm cool with that. So I don't know. I mean, it's an easy EDC knife, right, guys? Nothing exciting here, but it's going to cut cardboard, no problem. You can see here. Wow, cardboard. If it's going to cut cardboard, it's probably going to cut paper. Yeah, of course, no issue there. You can even do a few little curves there if you want. Get a little fancy. But, I mean, no surprise there, right, guys? Any decent blade that's been sharpened is going to be able to do that. I have not reprofiled this blade at all. I have touched it up on my strop a few times after using it, and that's as much as I've had to do so far. In fact, this blade gets so sharp that I cut through about a 1.5 inch phone book with it, sliced right through. And I saw someone do that on Instagram with a different blade, and I thought, you know what, this would be a really good knife to try that with, just because it's been shown itself to be such a great slicer. And it actually worked. It took a little bit of pressure, of course, that's a lot of paper, but she went through. It was pretty cool to see. How about I bring out a few comparable knives now, just to wrap up this review here. Of course, I would say the most comparable knife would be another Cold Steel offering. Whoa. This is my Recon 1. This is, I think, the first Cold Steel I ever bought. As you can see, very similar in size, in build, G10 handles, Oz 8A blade. Of course, these have been upgraded too if you want the XHP. Of course, this one has their black coating on it, whereas this one does not. I find the biggest difference to be thumb stud, thumb disc. Myself, personally, I prefer the thumb studs. Another thing I noticed the other day when I was looking really closely at these, and I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but you can see the stock on the Talwar is actually thicker. The blade starts out thicker, and then the lock bar is also quite a bit thicker. So, I mean, you thought your Recon 1 had amazing lock strength? Well, just imagine this Talwar. Everything's beefed up on it. But very similar knives, basically the same price point. And same quality. I'll bring in another one here that's cheaper, but of the same steel. The Ontario Rat 1. Everyone knows that knife. Super fantastic knife. Probably about half the price, sometimes even a little less. And I would say pretty much as capable as the Talwar in just about every task. This is a liner lock. So I guess if you were to really stress it, perhaps that lock's not as strong. I mean, of course, I've never tested that, but that seems to be the common mindset, that the liner lock's not going to be as strong as, of course, a triad lock or any lock back, really. But having said that, it's never failed me. Close to the same blade length, and as you can see, this thing opens with no effort at all. That's one of the big benefits of that. Those Rat ones, they are just amazing to open and close. And then I'll bring in one more here that's similar in size, and I'd say function and definitely roll. Of course, the Spyderco PM2. Everyone knows this knife, the Paramilitary 2. Bring that down there. Again, a little bit smaller blade-wise, but as you can see, maybe the handle is very close. That's, I think, one of the reasons the PM2 is so popular. It's such a comfortable knife to hold. Of course, this one has an upgraded steel over those. This one has the CPMS 30V. Similar, very pointy blade. Again, this one is Spidey hole opening with a compression lock. Works very well. And this one is going to cost a little more than all these. This one is probably going to be another $30 or $40 more than the Talwar. And that's because you're paying for that, of course, upgraded steel. But I'm getting right at 10 minutes here, guys, so I'm going to wrap this up. Cold Steel Talwar 1. Fantastic knife. Can't say enough about it. If you guys are like me and find it to be a very aesthetically pleasing knife and you're in the market for another mid to large size EDC, I'd say don't hesitate, pick one up. It's a great knife. Alright guys, take care. Talk to you soon.